Hey, that's the amount of energy that I have for tonight. But we're gonna hope for a transference of energy from y'all to me, right? I know it's been a couple times, quite a few now. Don't I hope y'all not keeping track of how many times I done said that I'm leaning on y'all today. It's another one of those. Amen. Just bear with me. That's it. We're gonna get through this thing though. Here, we're gonna get through it what? Together. That's what we finna do. We finna get through it together. So welcome and welcome back to all of those. Listen, if I ain't called y'all my babies by now to your face, let me just let y'all know that that's how I refer to y'all. Because I'm a mama bear, so everybody's my babies. I was like, Lord, I got to get it together. I got to get in here in front of my babies. I got to talk to my babies. So y'all my babies, and I mean my babies range in age here. I mean range in age. Amen. Just was it mine? I was my youngest nephew. Was he one? Lord have the mercy. That's the youngest that I know of. Lord God, I pray ain't no surprises. Now moving on. So I got one. Okay, all the way to how old is my daddy? 66. So it's a range, okay? I'm sure I got some that's older that they my babies. So just all up in between there, before and after. They're just all y'all my babies. So again, welcome, babies. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning into another or your first episode of the V Mix right here on BeExposedRadio.com. If you don't know by now, or I'd love to remind you that this show is really for everyone. I know we seem to touch on some like relative like topics over the past, some months that we've been going strong. But it's really for everybody. So I want to put this plug in here that I'm always listening and open to even like topic suggestions. If y'all want to hop on here and get to tell me like, can we talk about this? I've had people text me before and ask for, specific like topics and just for me to just touch on things. So I want to open that or send that invitation out to all of you. But here on the B Mix, that is for absolutely everyone. It is for the unheard, unseen, the forgotten, whether it be the forgotten part of you or for the person that just does not belong anywhere to me. So welcome and welcome back. Y'all, bear with me today. I mean, bear with me. Okay. Where do we start? Where do I begin? Okay, let's go. I'm gonna go to. I do have notes for today's show. I do, but there's always something which I'm grateful for because it means that life continues. There's more life to live, life to have. For the past 2 weeks. So for this year, thus far, we have been talking about like personal resume. Shout out to me remembering. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I get in front of y'all and be like, what are we talking about? And so with personal resume, I wanted to continue that, right? And so because it's packed, we're packing on, we're building a foundation. Or let's say we're in the process of rebuilding our foundation as individuals, as people, as humans, as Black people, as the Black community, specifically, or just minority, just as the world, as believers in Christ, like just we are rebuilding the foundation, and I don't think that that's a problem. I think that just like how, there are houses, right? And I'm not going to get to touch on something I don't really know about, but things that I make sense of, okay? That like when you have houses and, they run down and getting bad. And I'm not just thinking about projects, but, I'm sure there are houses all in between, especially if you're in Baltimore, you will see a vacant house in the middle of the block. So moving on. And so, the house, instead of it, I guess there's somewhere somebody decides like, oh yeah, we can just fix this up, it's a fixer upper, or no, baby, we need to cut this one down. Like this, we need to rebuild this thing on up. And we're in the process, and that's okay. I think that for a while we all and I do say we all, I think we all, because it's been enough of us just to make the generalization that we all have said, like, I'm under construction. Things are under construction. We as a people, we're under construction. And if I think if we're really transparent about it, I think if we're really honest with ourselves, we've been under construction, but it's gone as far as we've maybe roped off, we've taped off, what needs to be. But then that's why all last year we were talking about like our list of demands and commands, of being clear about that. What if anyone ever walked up to us, as a representative of the community, what would we say? We should be able to spit it out. So if you think of just a household, right? So if in my house, if I know that we need, let's see, say if we needed help with energy assistance, right, Nicole? If we needed help with food, if we needed help with, I don't know, if we needed shoes, like we just did not have any shoes. Every person that represents my home, if found out by themselves and approached and asked, our list of demands or our needs, they should be very clear as to say, hey, I don't know where you came from, what's going on. I'm gonna just say, I'm gonna believe that you coming from a blessing bucket, okay? And I'm gonna let you know that we need energy assistance, we need food, we need shoes, like just that we should be clear about that. So as a community, we should be clear about that if we are found, isolated or from our pack, right? So of course, they probably usually don't want to approach us if we out, protesting, peaceful or non, but even peaceful, that they don't want to approach us as a group, right? They don't get a group of people and interview on the news, during protests and riots and all that. Like they get that one person. And, as a people, we've been watching these a couple times, and it's always that kinfolk. It's always that kinfolk that I ain't judging, but sometimes it could be the better spoken, the more advanced, I'm not gonna say educated, but it could be a better representation sometimes, right? In recent times and recent things, I've seen interviews and all that of like community members and leaders that have been holding us down. So I appreciate that. Shout out to, oh God, what is he? Oh, he goes by Cool Ant. Oh my Lord, Anthony Williams. I know for sure was his name. Shout out to him, man. He's doing some good work. Shout out to him. And that really just came to the top of my head, but I said I wanted to be able to give him a more fitting like shout out. So when I either recall or probably next week that I prepare better and like having my notes of just the different movements that he's doing. I've seen and heard of different things that he's promoting, random places. Hi Nate, miss you. Happy New Year. I know we well into the month, well into the year, but Happy New Year. That I just wanted to shout him out because he's been doing some pretty cool things. And just when you see us doing stuff for us, why not? Aren't we to be the people to for that to catch our eye and for us to say something about it? So, but all of that being said, like I said, we have been talking about personal resume for the past few weeks. And so to build on that again, as we are rebuilding our foundation, which again is fine. Sometimes that's just what happens. We get knocked down and we have to rebuild. It's just what happens. And that gives us a place, if anything, if we look at COVID, it's giving us a time to rebuild, to refocus, to rejuvenate, to regroup, right? See all the re, so we're doing it again. Re is the prefix for, Nate, don't hype me. Listen, I want to talk about, I'm going to take the moment. Thank you. I also love this shirt. Don't mind it, y'all, because I think it's crooked. So my girls don't sit this way. I think we're going to try to fit. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's a representation of me today that I have, and I was going to get into this later, but it's totally okay. So thank you. The shirt says Nat Queen, if anyone cannot make that out. That P looks like just a little curl. See them eyes? They're closed here. They are closed. And so it is such a representation of not even of what I am doing now, but what I need to do. I shout out to my business attorney. Okay. Long story short, we were in a meeting yesterday or 2 days ago. And it was, to be about updates and all of that. And when I say that thing turned into a therapy session for me, which was much, 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 much needed, and I didn't know it. So I think that was the better thing. Like I had just had some like personal family stuff, right? Because I don't know if I mentioned to y'all before, but whew, I, at the tender age of 30, it is clear to me that I am the matriarch of my family. Very clear. Very, very, very clear to me. I think that has probably been the case before now, but that's why I choose my words carefully. It is clear to me that that is the case now. And so I was dealing with that, and I'll get into a little more of that, and tell people business, but I'll get into just my piece of it. So there was that, but then the day that we spoke, so it was just yesterday, yeah. I had one meeting that lasted from 8:45 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And then I'm in the process of getting my little 3-year-old, soon to be 4-year-old. We're preparing for big girl school. I'm trying to wrap my head around, y'all. This is just for me today. I'm let y'all know that right now. This is literally for me today. I'm just rambling on. Catch something if it's good for you. Here, catch something and hold on to it. I'm gonna get closer to y'all. So, we're getting ready for big girl school, so I'm wrapping my head around that. Big girl school is coming, and even though we're in a pandemic, and I can't seem to even want to think about the school year 21-22, but I have to because I'm a parent, and these babies, y'all just keep growing up on me. Y'all just keep moving all along, and I just trying to hold on and catch up. And so, anyhow, so I was talking to my business attorney, man, just love her, appreciate her as a person, as a woman, as a businesswoman, as a, be considered minority woman. She is Black and Indian. So listen, I saw a post that she absolutely so many similarities between she and our Vice President Kamala Harris, period. That she that representation really speaks to her. So just things, and so just all of that, she is a person, her as a person. Oh my Lord, just God really spoke through her to me yesterday during our meeting. And long story short, she told me to sit down for a second, take a minute to breathe, not to stress over, just. And it was a different type of, because we're going to talk about talking to yourself. We're going to get to that. Y'all remind me that I said that because I might forget. But when I'll get into this a little deeper when we get to that. But we'll definitely connect you. Okay. We'll definitely connect you. She's amazing. Please don't let me forget that. Shout out to, you know what? Actually, I had some things. So last week I wanted to, and I didn't get around to it. I was going to do it toward the end of the show, and then I had to hurry up and wrap up. But making sure y'all weren't catching on my kitchen. So get my hair done tomorrow. And on top, I don't want y'all to see me climb down off the shit and get back. But I will say, so darn it. All right, I had last week. I had everything right here because I wanted to show y'all all the cute. Okay, here we go. So first and foremost, for the new year, she sent a cute little treat. And I shouted this person up before, but every time I get something, I'm going to tell people about it. So this is called cookiecards.com by Cheryl's Cookies. So delicioso. And look, this is from my business attorney. So just send a note. You've got this. Comes cute little packaging. Here it is. See the back of that. Cookiecards.com. So cute. I ate the cookie, so don't ask me where that is. Because it ain't in my belly no more. Ate that thing quick. I did give the baby a couple bites, so okay. Cheers, son. And so, but to shout out Miss Nina Spear, Esquire, doing the damn thing. Look at this. Look at business, man. I don't know why I put my hand. Okay. Side note, I get really I get really excited to do fake pump tutorials and stuff like that. So I'll be on FaceTime. I'll be like, okay, so you gotta, this your product. I don't know. I get excited about that because I'm not good at it. And so it's my thing. Moving on. But baby, this card here, I just want to give you a little taste of business, just looking good. Boom. Like just y'all get into it. Like I say, and it was just it's our holiday card. Like just that's it. It ain't like no. It was business cards in there, like I said, that I just now dropped. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna climb it. I'm gonna give you a little look at that. Look what y'all get to look at. Boom. The D mix. Okay, I'm gonna climb back up here like so, like that. Oh, that wasn't too bad. Okay. It might have been. Okay. Whew. All right. Not out of breath at all. Then it came with cards. Boom. Okay. We're gonna flip that thing around like so, like that. I'm just giving you all a little taste. I can definitely get y'all more info on Miss Ma'am, but I'll tell you right now. But speaking to her, all that to say, like, I have something else I want to show y'all too. But because I'm talking about her right now, I wanted to show y'all that. And so she, like I said, long story short, just told me like so like I'm in nap queen mode. I got a weighted blanket. Shout out to my daughters, Gigi Bear. Y'all, that weighted blanket is everything to me. It literally is like the single, I ain't gonna say single girl, single person package. Like if you need a little spoon and if you need a little cuddling to get you to get the night, like an extra good, night's rest, baby, get into that weighted blanket. Now, somebody just said you apparently not supposed to be under too long or something like that, or don't let you be trying to hop up real fast or something gotta pee. I don't know about all that. All I know is, Lord God, I still had my maternity blanket that wraps around you real good, like so, like that. Baby, I put that weighted blanket over top of my blanket and I kick my foot out. It ain't nothing like it. It's nothing like it. That hug that you get, ooh, it just, y'all lucky I don't got it on right now. I'll tell you right now. But I was told to get rest. And I'm even truthfully looking at myself now. I don't see my glow that I feel like I always see at the very least. I know that at the end of last week's show, we touched on, this is going to transition us into like really what we're getting into tonight, that I touched on like the idea and concept of like what we put into our children. I just recently reposted, maybe today, it wasn't on the B-Mix show, it was on my personal Facebook page, but a post about like just hair alone, like of just what we speak to our children as we're doing their hair, right? It's everything. Like I am loving to see in these days that people, and this, I really do mean this in the most humble way possible. Let me say that now, because it's going to sound cocky, but if you know me, it's not from a cocky place at all. That I am so happy in my soul, not just my heart, in my soul, to see that people are starting to think more like me. I have jokingly said, like, if the world would just be more like me, we would be better off. But truthfully, again, in the most humble way possible, yes, that's exactly how I feel. Because there's like literally like a little itchy right on the tip of my nose where I keep rubbing. I don't got the Rona, so go ahead about your business. But yeah, so so to see this post about hair, it's what I've thought even before I had my own child, like just what I've tried to pour into other people's children when we have different textured hair. Just as far as not saying like, all this hair, all these curls, like it, truthfully, it sounds stupid to me. Like I hate to hear a mother like comb with all this hair, like, and just making it sound like such an issue. Do you understand what you're saying to your child? You're making it seem as if, their hair is such an inconvenience to you. Then if it's their hair, then it's them that's going to feel like such an inconvenience to you. What are you speaking into your children? So tonight, we got to step back before we can even think about our babies. What are you speaking into yourself? We talked about this, life and death being in the power of the tongue. Are you speaking death over yourself or life? And trust me, if you are not speaking life into yourself, into your situations, you're speaking death. So don't spare me the dramatics of, I'm not speaking death for myself. I wouldn't do that. I love myself. I want to hear it. Shut up. No. You're not speaking life. If you're speaking death, if you're not speaking life, you're speaking death. Like that's just it. That's it. It's cut and dry. There's no in between. It's not like, a little dead, a little life. No, it's one or the other. That's it. It's like, oh my God, what did my dad say the other day? My dad was like, it's just like you can't be a little pregnant. Like, nigga, you pregnant or you not? Like, it's just can't call somebody, hey, remember a little while ago? Remember when I had seen you? I'm a little pregnant. Like a little bit. And like it's not fully yet. No. Girl, you're pregnant now. Sir, you're pregnant. Okay. Okay. I digress. So when we're talking about like going back to touching on like what we've been talking about the past 2 weeks of personal resume, when you map out what it is about you, remember we're saying the what, not necessarily who you are, but just what you are to yourself, what you believe others should see you as, and then you make that list of, you know, what you would think that other people can see you as, and then it's stepping out totally out of their comfort zone, whether if you are the most confident person or not. I hope you're not arrogant, but I absolutely promote confidence. So even if you are confident, then if you are confident, you should be confident enough to ask someone else, someone close enough. You get to pick that person and ask them of, you know, what do you think about me? You know, what or if you want to really show them the list that you made for yourself, the one that you scratch out a couple of them, make it clean, make it plain. Okay. You know, we put a plain ministry over here to be mixed. And, you know, let them and just let them check off. And I mean, I really hope it's somebody that you respect their opinion of you, that you respect their opinion of themselves. Come on. That's important. I don't want to be around anybody that does not respect their own opinion of themselves. Then therefore I can't respect their opinion of themselves. Does that make sense? Like I don't want to be around that. I have, and like I was touching earlier about like just dealing with some family stuff. And so like, truthfully, I reached out to someone that I love, and I felt like that I have, and it's not a place of like, oh, I've done so much for them and they should pay homage to me. It's not that, but when things happen, it makes you think of like, I've tried my best to feel at hoping that I've been there for this person as much as possible. But it still doesn't mean that people can be there for you for what would equate to, you know, how much or what you've been there for them about, right? So I'm just a person, like if I'm in your life, like I'm present, I am wherever there's a void, a gap, like I'm right there, baby. I got you. Come on, what you doing? Where you going? Like I got you, right? And so reached out, and truthfully, it was because it was the realization of, okay, 30-year-old matriarch with a living mother. So that's the other thing too. Like it's that realization, like, oh, so where it gets troublesome is, okay, 30-year-old matriarch. Still got a living mother, living father, too. Like they're a living elder, you know, a few, but living elders in my family, sure. But more important, like I can't go to them. Like it's just on me. It's just on me. And where it's really troublesome, right? Because you kind of, I've settled into that, right, a little while ago. But then what happens is when your babies, when your people that you're there for, when they F up, like, okay, that's my baby. And I gotta be here for all the little tiny people, right? But then there's one of my big kids, you know, okay, and they mess up bad. How do I handle this? How am I sure to be here for the most vulnerable people, which are the little tiny people, right? That didn't ask to be here, which none of us did. So I'm trying to stay away from even using that phrase because I hate that. People are like, oh, the kids didn't ask to be here. Right. At some point we were kids and we didn't ask to be here either. So none of us did. Surprise. But so how am I there for them? And, you know, there for anyone else that's there for them. And then, but to assert myself in the position or not position, but having the role that I play to address the wrong, right? It was difficult, is all I'm saying. Like if y'all have followed me of how difficult it is just to even explain this now, you know, again, because I'm not the person to be like, because such and such, girl, let me tell you, such and such did this. That's not me. That's not me. Being a real carrier of people, you can't. I can't, you know, just be like, oh yeah, such as this, I can't believe in, girl. No, I can't. And then call myself a carrier of people and people's stuff. That doesn't go together. So Church folk, anybody else out here that love gospel and all of that? I love how my bishop has always said, like, my words are get your mouth off of people, but because that's not his quote, so I don't want to put his name on that. But his part is he's always said, like, how if you talking about people, that means you're not praying for them or something along that nature. Like, I always keep that in mind. Like, even walk around like, Lord, look at them. Why she got them shoes on? Right there. What I could have done is, Lord, I really hope you bless that baby. Have some better shoes on, or something like that. Like, it turned into a prayer. What you talking to people? Take your mouth off of people. Now that's a whole word. I'm gonna move on from that. But so just for anybody that likes to gossip, like, you don't gossip. Choose one or the other. If you choose the gossip, hey, that's your prerogative. I'm not mad at you. Do your thing. And gossiping usually, because I was about to say make sure it's just the truth, but gossiping isn't always. People that gossip aren't always making sure that they run in the truth. So I'm gonna just leave that alone. But you either choose to gossip or choose to help people. Don't you dare call yourself, find yourself gossiping about people and call yourself like someone that, oh yeah, I'm a carrier. I carry people. I'm a warrior for them. No, you're not. Keep your mouth off of me. Thank you. Be blessed. So with all of that going on, like I reached out and tried to confide, just as saying, like, I pride myself in not feeling like I need to know somebody's stuff in order to be there for them. So it's hurtful when you're found to feel like I don't even want to believe that the intent was there. I have no choice but to really believe that it was ill intent, but I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. That's my problem. And it's like to be felt like me trying to confide or just needing to hear something. Even I love you, B. You know what? Hey, it is what it is. Or it's something, not I don't know what to tell you. You ain't told me nothing. I can't, do this. What am I supposed to say? Then a huff and puff and all these sighs and all this, the whispering and eating in my ear. Like, not when I make sure that I give my undivided attention when there is, a matter to give attention to. Like, I'm confused. So you be careful. The moral of that portion of the story, be careful when people are really coming to you. You never know the damage that you're doing, especially if it's someone that you actually care about, love, that goes through, that is a warrior for people in general, not just yourself. Like, like just that you sat and watch this person, take care of and hold it down for people. Like, just be careful of that, because that shit hurts. Like, and it's unnecessary. I think that's what it was. Like, I'm over it now. I'll be very honest. No, I'm lying. I'm better about it. I can say that, because if I'm over it, then that means like I could easily just pick up the phone and say, hey, what you doing or something. But I'm on a tip of no. Like, I'll admit my toxic trait right now. If we ever have something, y'all, I'm being very transparent right now. I almost feel like I'm about to vomit. So I'm about to say this, but if we ever have something between us, please understand I'm the person to just be like, okay, well, talk to you never. I know it's bad. Until something comes around, though. I now the crazy part is how harsh or hard or I don't know, permanent, I guess, that can come off to be. I'm also the person I'm easygoing as far as when there's some effort, put in place to be like, you know what, I was wrong. Like, I could have been there for you a little more. I was in a mood, or, my bad if that came off, because it's still BS, but I can at least take it that at least, like, okay, let me admit that I could have been there for you a little more. You know what I mean? And then that's really all it takes for me. Just a little effort. But I am that person to be like, okay, well, stay in the word. Because it sucks. Like, you don't get to do that to people. So hence why it goes all the way back to, like, when we talk about personal resume of what you have on your list, right? Because here it is, that then it helps you to, because I would love for like groups of friends, like the close-knit people that, whether if I'm not going to say they always have to hang around or whatever, but just people that, are close-knit, that circle, your support system, to be able to sit around and to do something like this. Right now, I know we're still in COVID, so if it's virtual, and to compare it, right? And to share it, rather, at least share it, right? because then that is how I've always jokingly said, no, I'm gonna finish my statement and get to that. So that is how you get to know who you are actually running in the pack with, who you are close to, Lord, it just hit me. Do you know your support system? Not do you know, can you identify them? Do you know who they are? Do you? When's the last time you've ever like dug deep into who it is that you consider that's in your support system? So we're talking about best friends, we're talking about companions, we're talking about, relatives that you're close to. So the close cousins, some people I know are the same ages, like their nieces or nephews, or uncle, whatever, uncles, aunts, grandmother. If your grandparents ain't, how well do you know them? And I'm talking personality. Because here's the issue. Well, this is what I was about to say earlier, is that I've jokingly said, and usually I tell my niggas, I ain't lying. Forgive me, y'all. I crack myself up. So usually me joking about niggas, right? And because I can't help but be a jokester, y'all. I don't know what's going on. Can you believe it? Some people, y'all might even think that I'm so serious. And I'll be joking. Moving on. But I've said, like, what's wrong with these niggas out here is that, they running, we talking about size, package size, right? Yeah, because all me and my niggas out here, we hitting it. Okay, but I kind of heard that your friend, y'all might be packing and he's lacking. I just, like, let's be okay. Like, can't we just, so I've always been like the joke in my head, right? It's been like, well, I know, guys want to hang around like, hey, we're going to be best friends, whip it out. Like, let me see what you got. Like, make sure you saying what you're saying and it's real. Like, I get that you can't do that. You kind of got to go over here saying like, different females say, oh my God, he looked good. Oh my God, he wasn't. Like, whatever. But I don't know. How do you get to the place where if your niggas, like if your mans in them, it should be your mans in them. If you the mans to be the man. Moving on. Same thing for females though, baby. We are not out that token. Now listen. I'm gonna say this without being ratchet. But you gotta know, like, all the girls want to get around, oh my God, because he be coming back, and oh my God, he want me. Sis, not what I heard, but go ahead. Like, whatever. So how do you know? Like, me, I should only be friends with the best of the best of them. I ain't lying. But like, it's something about that. So outside of that, right, those are things you can't really check, because homegirls ain't being like, girl, let me see something. Let me see what you got working with. Show me a video that you sent your man so I know that we should be friends. I'm not saying all that because, but what can happen, right? So that's the thing of like releasing things that you cannot control, okay? The things that you can control and that you should care about mostly, because I'm at the end of the day, hey, I'm not in sex with you, so I don't really care about what your parts are doing, okay? But at the least, especially if we're cool, don't get to telling me like, girl, everybody want it. It's the best thing ever. Woo, 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 super soaker macaroni and cheese. And it's like, powder milk. But that don't matter to me none, because that's not my issue. And that's not my issue. Like, I'm not doing anything with that. Like, we're not there. We just friends. Amen. We sisters, like, but just don't, make sure you're saying what you're saying, right? And that aligns. But what we do have control over, and what matters to me more than anything, is character, personality, persona, development, like all that on the inside. That's what's like really important. And I think that we are now at a place in life in general of, having to care about that more. Like, what are we really getting out of the COVID? Like, what we getting out of Sister COVID? We should be all be getting a lot out of her, right? Because it is time to really reevaluate who it is that you turn to, that you confide in. And I will be the first to tell you, y'all, I'm not making no altar call. Y'all need it. Y'all call me though. But I will be very honest, because that's all I can be, is tell you about like my life and my experiences, which is the fact that God is always, and I mean always reminding me that I need to be turning to him, not just to him, but to him first. Okay. I was immediately convicted. Like, after that whole conversation, I had stepped aside to walk the puppy. We dog sitting, which It should be my dog now, but moving on. It just should be. I always call him my son anyway, but because I'm his dad. But moving on. Speaking of, okay, right here. So he went upstairs and got in the bed for the baby. So I was, walking the dog. So it was like a quick conversation just for me to get myself together because I had, family that was in distress, like here at my home. And I just needed, just something, words of encouragement. If I had have dropped to my knee, like went to my room, dropped to my knees, or even when I went outside, just prayed to God a little bit, dropped a little tear or something, instead of hoping that somebody, right, would feel that for me versus God, then I would have been better off. Like I would have been better off to have called on God on him first, just to be like, listen, Jesus, now help me here. This rough right here, right? So, like it doesn't mean that I get to let that person off the hook completely, but for the most part, yes, because clearly that's not their place. Like that's not who they are supposed to be for me. I can't expect that person to be what I would be to them for me. And and I'm only coming back to tell this because I know that I have mentioned relatively recently that, and reminded all of you. So I told y'all before, I've said this also recently too, like, things that I'll say to y'all, sometimes it has to come back to me, or whatever the case may be. But, so I had to be reminded that I've recently told y'all that what you get from someone, like, so you might get this from person A in your life, and you need, X, Y, and Z, like that, you won't get that from person A. You'll get that from person B or C. Like it's the circle of life. All right, triangle. All right, excuse me. So, like it is what it is. And so then so now that I learned that, right, and I put that together, that, okay, I was convicted, I needed to turn to God first, right? That, here was this person and I, expected more from them. And what does suck though, is that in the moment of me, needing just something, needing a little pat on the back, a little Iyanla backhand rub to call me beloved, something like just over the phone, right? I like I said, I'm just that person that I just need a little something so I can be like, whoo, okay, let me go. Like literally, I had some other family before all of that, the same day, actually, earlier that day, had some family to come over just because they were here. Like, I felt like, okay, boom, let me get these dishes done, like clean this, like just had energy. I just be needing just a little. I'm the moral support kind of person that moral support really does it for me. And child, what sucks is that in the midst of, needing all that, I even explained myself. I explained like, I know that I'm calling for something and I don't necessarily know what I'm needing to hear right now. So even literally said these words, it's not a personal attack on you, but I needed to hear something. And then it was still well, I don't know what you need to say. You won't tell me detail. Okay. Like you can't just be like, you know what? That like people are not like me. Because in that moment, I would have heard this person, not just what they're saying with their words, but hey, like what's, okay. Let me just tell you whatever it is. I love you. You will figure it out. It will be worked out, something, right? But that wasn't the case. It was still like a back and forth, like for what? And then, like I said, just more of the huff and puff and the stand. Like all of that was so nasty and unnecessary, and like a sign to show me, like I clearly don't matter to you as much as I thought I did, or as much as you make me believe that I do. Or I don't know. And I get that sometimes it can go off of like what people feel about themselves, that if they can't do more, then they don't do it all, or whatever that is. But it just sucks all in all. Like that's the sucky part of it. But moving on of like me now learning that, right? And then, like I said, with my conviction of knowing, like if I had to just, prayed about it, I probably would have felt better. Not probably, I would have felt better. So that's an example of how to turn to God first, like in the moment of despair, that I just needed a little, a little push, a little, that here is what I meant to. This is how I was really off today, y'all. This is how I was going to promote a show. There is this page. I actually want to make this bold. It's a page on IG, Confident Woman Company, corporation, company, Co. Confident Woman Co. Okay, dot. Okay. Anyway, because I was trying to give people their props. And I was gonna repost that. First of all, I just like that it's like this tan, and then the words are highlighted white and black. I don't know, it just gives me whatever. Instead of it being like all colorful and stuff that I think I usually need. I love just y'all see the difference of hues throughout social media these days. Like it's a lot of nudes and neutrals and this. I don't know. I just love it. It's just a lot of black going on. I love it. I picked up on it all. And so anyway, so it said, don't identify yourself with a title that God rescued you from. So when that means, what that means is, at least to me, for me, is that it means so much to me. So I'm trying to land like where to start. So when, with that exact example, let's stay there. Again, if I have learned, like, okay, I get the feeling of it, and we are out of the place of giving people benefit of the doubt. I used to be queen of take off nap, queen of benefit of the doubt. I would give a BOTD real quick, like just well, they didn't mean this, and I'm so considerate, and so I care. I know somebody's heart and their intentions, even if their actions say totally different. But I no, that's not fair to me, right? And so I've learned that. And so me learning, like, okay, from your actions showing me like I clearly don't matter to you as much as I thought I might have, or that believe have me to believe I do, that then I I can't be that for you any, like I can't be that. Maybe until that's fixed. I don't know. I don't know the ending of that statement until then, because it's a current situation now. But at the least for right, I can't be that. So I can't find myself. I would always, that person will come back and be like, oh, let's no, no, no. Because if you should feel like you make me feel some way. And then you should be coming back to try to remedy or fix something, especially if knowing me. And that's the thing. That's what I am now learning, because I've seen a lot of posts just in the past 2 days of, like just taking what, you've been shown and this and that, like just different signs like that. Right. And so whatever that title is for you out there, that, if you've always been the fixer, I'm speaking to my fixers, is right now, that is what I am dealing with, of struggling with letting go of feeling the need to do more because I am naturally a fixer, a doer. Like, you bring your stuff to me, we got to go do what we're doing. But I had to admit that in, yes. So I've at least admitted to myself that I've done better, or I am better with not carrying people's stuff so heavily, to the point where it dampens my mood, or that, I stop life. Like, that was me. Like, I would, I know it's not dramatic, as I guess it is, but be like, oh my God, this is happening, you know? And at least that was for me. Now, say if, like I've mentioned before, like say if I was in a relationship and, my good girlfriend comes with boy troubles, then I'm not the person to take that, to my relationship, to my home, to my man, sure. But like still, I was that person just by nature. Like, oh God, this is their stuff. Let me put it on. Oh Lord, oh, we in this together. Like, you can be in this together and still support without, losing the integrity of your lifestyle. Like, you can do that. I'm telling you, Aunt Nene. Oh, well, I don't know, whatever y'all call it, because I'm used to Aunt Nene's like my second name apparently. B, I don't know, B Nix girl, whatever you need to call me. As long as it's, right up under there on the child of God somewhere. I'm telling you that it's okay. That it is totally okay to support whomever it is that's in, your life that might need your support. It's very important for you to identify who it is that in your life. So when you're writing out this personal resume, after you have identified things about yourself, especially if you pan out to be this great, amazing person that you probably are, and even for people that are not right now, you can definitely get there. Then you should have people in mind that are in your life that deserve to experience that. You hear me? Not everybody deserves to experience your greatness. Y'all hear me good. Hear me good tonight. Um, and even more so, not everyone in your life deserves to experience your greatness to the multitude that you might dish it out to them. You you need to be very, so just as you say, to protect your space and protect your peace, protect yourself overall. And that is how you protect your peace and protect your space, that you realize, like, I can't pour out as much. I can't even expose you to as much of myself. Oh Lord, y'all, I'm sorry. Right in the middle of saying something good, y'all. That's what I get. I need to learn how to turn my notifications off on my email. Then when email popped up, and I'm currently a program manager at a nonprofit organization in Baltimore. And so I saw it was a job listing for a program manager. I had to look real quick, like, all right, give me some more. Did they just, I don't know. Did they fire me? I don't know. I'm sorry. Anyway, sorry. Excuse me. I digress. But you don't need to expose them to all parts of you all the time, or to the amount of, by which you might expose them. So you might give, like me, I just wear myself all out. And I know that we'll walk through this together, because I'm learning this still. It is something to tell someone that loves out loud, that lives themselves out loud. So I don't live out loud as far as, like, I am skydiving every other day and this, like, I'm not, I can be spontaneous, sure. I really can be. Little known Black History fact. Little known Black History fact. But I may not be as adventurous and all that nowadays, outside of Rona. So I just live. I just live myself. Who I am is who I am. Just right on out. And so you have to guard yourself. You understand? You have to limit the exposure of yourself to others, even those in your close circle. Why? You have to you have to make this list with these people in mind, your support system in mind. Just saying. So if you don't do that, I promise you will crash and burn. And we are not in the days where you need to crash and burn. You need to be able to pick yourself up from wherever you are, whether you're at a higher place, but hopefully you're at a better place than you've ever been. And even if you find yourself in a low place, even if it's the lowest place you've ever been, it's time to pick yourself up and vow to yourself never to allow yourself to crash and burn again, especially at the hands of yourself by way of other people. You understand that? By way of other people. It should not be. You should not be finding yourself, no. You shouldn't be finding yourself trying to pull yourself together because you poured all of you out to everyone else. And I'm telling you, it's like science to it, that no matter what, no matter how loving, how great of a person you are, that if you are pouring all of yourself out to other people, they're not pouring into you as much as you need. A lot of people are not even aware of this. I know for a fact. People in my life, I know for sure, are not aware of how much I am for all of those that are in my life. It's probably impossible because it's just, I guess, the way I carry myself. What's this calling me? Sorry, no, I don't want to say, but almost took the call. I'm tripping, but sorry. But I just, no, it can't be that case. And like I said, the way I carry myself is, how people find it so difficult to, consider, oh, she must be, doing this for other people or this or that, without like jealousy or envy. You know what I mean? I'm a really good person. I'm such a loving and like a wholesome person of just pouring out onto people. And I learned especially over the past year or so, I've learned, like, and then over the years, oh my God, there's how many people that just don't see that and for whatever reason can't. But then of course my piece came from learning that they weren't supposed to be able to see that. You know, that's why you're no longer in the relationship that you were in. That's just like if they could just see and understand that they weren't supposed to see it, baby. They weren't. But do you know why? It's a list, probably a list of whys, but I can at least give you a freebie. It's because you didn't see it either. And you might see it now. And so then it's hard to remember the day and time that you did not see it, right? It's hard to think back to those days, but it was the fact that you did not see that then. Maybe it was you didn't see it to the extent of what you should have been able to see it about yourself, right? So that's where it's talking. That's why we have to break down the whole concept of, know your worth. And if I was to talk to my younger self and all that, my younger self probably wouldn't get, know your worth. I heard it back then. The hell did that mean? Like, what was I supposed to do? In a relationship with a man that I absolutely love. My family, I don't have like as a support system. So he became my everything. So I'm supposed to know what does that mean? Know my worth and guard myself against this man that, oh yeah, okay, he's beating on me. Like he's cheating on, like, how am I supposed to know? Like, oh Lord. Listen, you heard it here first, okay? Y'all ready? It's not good news. I want to ease y'all into that, okay? Okay, give me a second. Give y'all a second to just be ready for it. It comes with a very, very, very heavy heart. That actress, and I'll add activist, for us as a people, Miss Cicely Tyson, has passed at the age of 96. Her cause of death is unknown at this time. Miss Tyson, oh my goodness, y'all, I'm not gonna cry. Okay. Miss Tyson, we as a people, thank you. Thank you for your life, for your challenges and tests and storms, for your faithfulness. You are a believer. So I'm at peace that you rest where you absolutely deserve to be, at the right hand of our Father and his Son, Jesus Christ. And we thank you for your legacy. You absolutely leave behind so much to look on to, so much to believe in, so much to cherish. So right here at the B Mix, on the B Mix at beexposedradio.com, we say thank you. Job well done. You lived a long and beautiful life because, baby, you look good. You hear me? You're looking like a bomb here. And we are so sorry for you to no longer be on this side of glory, but you enjoy your eternal life in heaven. You continue to rest in peace. We love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all, we gonna get through this one. That one's tough. That's tough, y'all. That's tough. Wrap your love for Cicely. I can't help but call her Cicely. Y'all love her. It's like, oh, it says. That's, oh God. Okay. Okay. Whew. So, and just like that, y'all. And I mean, given, yes, she's at the age of 96, but who would know? Like, you still never know. There are people like living beyond that. So it's not even to say of age to be like, oh, cool, who wouldn't expect it? Like, who is to know? So it never, usually we say it with like young people that, might pass and be like, we never know the day and age. But even for her, we wouldn't have known that. We never expected. It's so crazy that something I came up with just in my thoughts more recently is that it is so crazy that we know that the only thing guaranteed in life is death. And so why is it that we struggle with, you know, like just live, like I was saying, living out loud, and not necessarily meaning that it's, the most adventurous or doing the most or traveling the most, like all of that's fine. But I'm talking about living your inner self outward, right? Outwardly, living out loud. What is wrong with that? I think that is the only way. And I pray that she did everything that she needs to do. Of course, she's accomplished many things. She is a staple in acting, for our community, but just in acting in general. And so what I really hope though is that as she took her last breath, right, that she understood, that she was able to think back and say, I did everything that I needed to do, aside from all accomplishments and all the accolades, but that she lived her inner self out loud enough to feel like she did everything that she was supposed to do, that she poured out everything that God poured into her. Is that not the ultimate goal? Is that not the true definition of legacy? I would not want to leave this earth. And I used to say this, I would finish this phrase totally differently. I said it so many times. I'd be like, if I was to die tomorrow, I'd be so sad that I never became someone's mother and someone's wife. So then when I became someone's mother, I'm like, okay, halfway there, right? And so when I think about it, oh Lord, that's probably what God is holding my husband off. Lord have mercy. But now I don't think of it that way. I really think of, I would hate not to, I hate to not to be able to think back and say that everything inside of me that I poured out, and I know I'm nowhere near that. So, and that help, I'm able to come to that conclusion because of my personal resume, my list of, things about myself that I believe about myself, my list of things that I believe that others can believe about me. Um, then and now and then I added that piece of, as you're making these lists and drawing out these different, characteristics, that you're hopeful, that not hopeful, but you're considerate of who deserves, to experience these things about you. And to what extent, like it is work, yes. And I think that's the point, that you realize, like, I don't want to find myself around people that I'm working hard to figure like, okay, no, I can't be this way with them. I could only be, no, I just want to be me. I want to live out loud. I want to live out loud. I think we can redefine, the LOL, right? Like, I know that's for laugh out loud, but live out loud. And I think most of us, if not all of us, can, if or at least caught at least one work um of now the late Cicely Tyson, that I think all of us can agree that we believe that, she did that. I mean, just a grandmother to us all. And listen, now, it's not gonna lie, kind of like on some Morgan Freeman tip, because I can't really think back to no young Cicely Tyson now. But that's okay with me. I'm okay with you being my grandmother. So at some point, if you were the aunt, okay, even the mother, but baby, you held down the grandma tip for me, especially for me that it was raised by grandma. And so, we can think back, to that, right? But I pray that she believes, because only what matters at the end of the day is that she believed and did, right, what it is that she felt needed to have been done to pour herself out, you know. There are plenty of people, unfortunately, that, go on to glory, or that pass, and, you know, you can probably feel it sometimes if you ever attended, memorial service or anything. You'd be like, "Oh, but it's a peace that you had. Like when I lost my brother, and I will I don't think it'll ever leave from me. I pray that it never does. The peace that that I felt immediately about, like, I know where he is. I know that, I think that even in my mind, that in my spirit, I can believe that he believed that he poured all of himself out, because he did just live out loud. The boy would talk about and listen about trap music and all of that and be able to, speak to your spirit at the same, like, and so what helped me what helps me a lot of times is to remember words from his own mother she said that he ran the race and he won the race. And so, that means that once you running, you get everything out. Like you exhaust all efforts, everything. I think that's the perfect analogy to think about. Because that's exactly what it is, that he made it to the finish line, and to the finish line that only we all could hope, to get there. So meaning that we just have more work to do. There's more life to live on this side. So while recently I went to, if y'all ever hear me say, like, I want to talk to my brother, that means that I, visited his gravesite, because that was the best way I could wrap my head around talking to him. I would always just have to say, I went to go see my brother, I went to talk to my brother. For the longest, I could not even say that he died. It still takes me a little, but at least we have to say the words now. So it's some progress there. But then to the point of, what was I going to say? To say that I went to his gravesite, like I couldn't put those together, right? And so, like, again, if you ever hear me say I talked to my brother or went to go see my brother, that's what I mean. And so recently, when I went to talk to him, so cold. It was so cold that day. I think it was this week, actually. It was freezing. And so, and of course me, and I told y'all my issue with not wearing clothes and shoes, y'all. And so I don't know, where was I was hoboing again. Y'all was hoboing again, Lord. Anyway, but really what mattered is that I was going to throw socks on with my sandals. And I didn't. I just whatever. Was in my furry sandals. And so I have my cemetery blanket, like when I go see him, and when I go to all my family, go talk to my cousin Tiffany, baby. And so I didn't. I grabbed the blanket, but I didn't. I was like, I ain't gonna get down on the floor. And so I stood, and I was able to cry it out a little bit, talk to him. And so I got into my place, like talking all like feeling alone, like I'm just doing everything for everybody, like whoa. And I really, it's so crazy because I still be like, and I know that you are so fine, like you're so okay. I don't get to be like, oh, I wish you could. No. If I'm really truthful, I wouldn't wish as much as, because I've recently seen posts, and this one was different than any of the other ones I've ever seen. They usually say like, oh, if you could talk to someone in heaven, or I think it was if you could visit heaven, I don't know for how long, whatever, but who's the first person, or who you look for first. And so I saw a lot of people, saying like personal things. Some people said some celebrity, but it made me think of like how much we, hope, like, oh, I wish such and such could come back. I wouldn't wish, how you say like when something bad, really bad happens to you, like I wouldn't wish on my worst enemies. So in the same token, flip that. I wouldn't wish my dearest loved ones, I wouldn't wish them to come back to earth for anything. Miss them dearly. Need them very much. Wouldn't wish them to come back, right? Because of the fact that, like I said, when I was out there talking to you, I was like, you are so okay. You're so okay. And you want to leave the people that, will mourn and grieve, your loss on this side of glory. You want to leave them with that sense of peace. Just like the idea is to leave them with the, piece of, no financial burden or anything like that, right? It's also the overall peace of the peace at heart, the peace of mind, the peace at, spiritual peace. I thought that was the cat and the dog huffing and puffing at each other again. But that's the goal, is to pour out, to live out loud for that. So back to when I was saying that post read, don't identify yourself with the title that God has rescued you from. That's for everyone in every circumstance, every relationship that he has, that God has kept you from getting into, that he got you out of, that he, blocked, like you said, like I said, ever blocked you getting into, any friendship that he rescued you from, any relative that he has given you the peace of mind to release, um, don't identify yourself with that any longer. As we talk about the personal resume, it's so very important then that now that you have it on paper, what you supposed to do now? What you supposed to do? Let me see. No. You ain't say nothing. Quiet. Once you have it down on paper, you affirm it. You have to speak it. It is so very important for you to speak life over yourself. It is so very important. The issue right now is that for so long, so many of us have been speaking death over ourselves, death into our own situations, and then expecting these miracles to happen, and then wanting, that's where the non-believer comes in, like, I thought I heard something. I had to listen. I got a 3-year-old now. Forgive me. Okay, because now you got to listen for something to happen after the boom. So, we've spoken it over ourselves so long, and then so like I said, it gets to the non-believer of like, where's this, big old God that performs miracles? Nigga, he right here. He right here watching you. Be dumb. Be dumb. All right, I'm sorry. Those are my words. That's not about. That's not about. But it's the point. The point is, though, the point is in there. That if you spent your life speaking death over yourself, it is equivalent to the health risks that you would run with, how that, what came out so long ago that we had to like watch in middle school. I think it actually is called Super Size Me or Super Size or something, where the gentleman, like, he did a, test study or whatever, and he ate, I forgot for how long, maybe a week. I think he at least tried for a week or so, and only ate McDonald's, and it was always super sized meal. And so, like, if you spent your life eating, now, no shade, but let's just say fast food. I'll leave it there. What's not going to happen? Nobody finna come up and see me, okay? So if you spent your life just eating fast food, like nothing else, no home cooked, no well balanced, no, it was just everything. Even when you get your green beans from, some of the places, and so what? You spent your entire life eating that, you would be, running some health risks. You would be probably shortening your lifespan. It's the same thing with speaking death over yourself. And so when we talk about, here's a prime example, because I know, remember, this is Put a Plane Ministry here, okay? For the folks, shout out to Britton, high school friend that I responded to her. I think she either went live or I think it was just on her story. And she was talking about that she had watched something recently, and a young lady that was 27 got to saying like, y'all, because y'all know I'm old, and like it said it and meant it. And so my friend Britton, she was explaining like, y'all, can we please stop saying, like, especially if you're in your mid, late 20s, please stop it. And then so when I responded to it, I was like, this is a good reminder, because it's like, yo, how many times have I got on here like, I'm old? And so when I said to her, I said, I believe it started off as as a joke for all of us, because it is that realization to be like, at some point we were just the 18-year-olds, like, how go back even further, like we were freshmen in high school, and you look at the seniors in high school, and then you're like, how, we're the upper class, like, how did that happen? Oh my goodness, we're the old people in the school now, right? And then that's just how it goes in life, and goes on and on and on, because at some point, what age we are now, 30, going to 31, and just anybody around that age bracket, like at some point, this age was so old to us. Oh my, do y'all remember? And they'll look at us like, girl, I am young and vibrant. Please don't play. I could give y'all a busted challenge. I ain't finna do it. Give you a little silhouette. Silhouette of a perfect frame, imperfect frame. Don't worry about it. Shadows of my smile. Okay. I gotta listen to that song now. But like, the point was that we have to stop telling ourselves and acting, or she didn't say acting, but I'm adding that. Acting old and like speaking that over ourselves. Because if we're so old now in 30s, what's going to happen? Because even 60, I know my oldest aunt, my maternal aunt, my mother, 6 of them. So her oldest sister, I remember when she turned 16, I was just like, oh my Lord, like sister's just moving and getting it. Like, okay then, like, oh, that's 60. Wow. Because 60 was like, whoa, Nelly, People don't make it up there. My dad is 66. Like, so there might be some health things or whatever, but for the most part, he old enough to still get on somebody's nerves. So doing well. And he's mid 60s, like going to late 60s now, yeah. Just definitely said he's 66. So yeah, that's late. But it's like that's alone. So like, remember how a long time ago I said that I don't like the phrase, like there will be certain like little fads and things that come up that I just don't like when it's funny. I thank God now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I've heard too many people say it. So I hope something's caught on to that. I ain't gonna take no credit for it because it don't matter to me. All glory to God now. But a lot of people used to say, like, I'm dead. I'm like, I'm dead. It's funny, I'm dead. I hate it. I always hated you. Don't say that. It's little things like that. Like, why would that become a trend? Why? That's like how people we write from Baltimore, okay? So there's always, of course, always the talk of like some of our slang and ebonics here, right? So given I have gotten caught into the whole dummy thing, right? Like just using the term dummy for endearment, but it's jokingly because of people that know that I wouldn't like anyway. And so, but for the people that mean it and say like, why? Matter of fact, there was a song, "See Me Going Dum Dum," right? There were a group of, I think, just boys, all young little black boys that did a remix and like, "You See Me Going Smart Smart." So of course, naturally, because of where our minds are and how conditioned we've been, it's like, even though it's like, oh, that's sweet, the kids, like it's that thing. Like we're so okay with speaking the negative over ourselves, over our situations, over our communities, our neighborhoods, our city, our state, our country, our just and it's a mess. And we have to stop that. So your B tip of the week is to change the way you speak of yourself. Starting now. Starting now, right now. Shout out to Cicely Tyson. That definitely just came to me from which Tyler Perry movie is that? I think it's Family Reunion, and where she was just giving. Oh God, I gotta go watch that now because that is definitely one of my favorite just memories of her giving that whole speech of just us as a people. That's good. Rest in peace, Cicely Tyson. And like she just said, starting now, starting right now. Be better unto her speech was really someone being better unto others. And now I'm taking it on to saying, be better to yourself. And I'm saying this out loud, saying this to Pania. So I'm going to take heed as the best I can as to what my business attorney, told me of just like, hey, take a break from it all. Give it a second. And she is a bona fide hustler. Okay. She gets it, like pushes out, product and, encourages us and just does what she's doing. She's an attorney. I mean, that says enough, right? And so even for somebody like her to understand the importance of the hustle is to take care of self. And so she talked about pouring from an empty cup and all of that. And I can see the difference. Like literally, look, I have all the same lights on that I normally have any other week. And I look at myself and I use the term like ashy, but like technically I'm blue. But like my face, like there's not the same glow. There's not the same glow. And I need to get that back. And there's nothing more that I can do, like to feel like, oh, yeah, I've accomplished this beside taking care of self. I'm happy that it really seemed to just work out that I have a hair appointment tomorrow. I have a massage appointment tomorrow. I wish I could make a last minute nail appointment. Was probably pushing it because I didn't mean to wait this last minute, but or just over the weekend, hopefully, and see if I can squeeze in. But if not, do that relatively soon. I am, going out of town, like so. I'll be revised and rejuvenated, soon. I'm a work in progress with that. And so she'd even told me like, if you have to like take a break from the show, and I did. I gently, I don't know, my money, my producer like yelling at me now, but I know that if I really needed to, I could and would, but it was when we talk about having people in your circle, in your support circle, have people in your support circle that are only looking to hear, only listening to hear from you that you are doing things that are good for you. I'm gonna say it again, and then I'm gonna give you an example. When we're talking about identifying people in your support circle that that are good for you, that are best for you, that need to remain in your so close in your support circle. Because remember, you can have people can be in your life. And they're doing like somersaults in the tub. But and don't try to call the people on me now. That girl love to soak in the tub and like it's bare minimum water. All right, I ain't gonna draw it home or nothing because I don't need y'all getting on my nerves about it. I'm doing the best I can. Okay, single mothers. Okay, moving on. So when you're talking about having those people, like I said, just remember you have people in your life, but they don't have to be so close. Like they don't have to be so close because that's you protecting your space, protecting your peace, so that they don't have to have so much. The people that are closest to you have the most exposure to you. And truth be told, that doesn't even mean that they have to get all of the exposure to you. I know for sure, I still stand firm that my husband will be, because that is not the end goal now, thank God, at some point younger in life. But like, oh, same goal, let's say just get married, yay. But that's one of, a big piece, of my life, like progressing. But my husband will be somebody like the only person that would be able to, like, as an adult person, to be able to say that he's exposed to as much of me as possible. There are my children that will be, I have my child, and I have more children that will have as much exposure that they will have, and just so forth and so on. Then you get that circle out further and further, right? So you think of like the waves, when you think of like some still water, and then you drop the stone, and then the wave, the ripples, to go further and further out, right? And so it's up to you to make that clear for yourself. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to write letters like, hey, dear such and such, I am now demoting you to wave level 7, whereas you were on wave level 3, closest to me. No, you don't have to do all that. You just have to be clear about it, and you stand firm in it, and you walk in that, and people will pick up on it, and that's okay. If ever that needs to be a conversation, then you have that. But I don't necessarily believe, me, the conversationalist, doesn't necessarily believe that you need to, vocalize that. I think that it's necessary for you to be clear about that. And then if you feel as though there needs to be a conversation to say, like, we won't be as close anymore, or I don't know, or again, just allow things to just happen the way they happen, and just, not tread lightly, but be observant. Because you still get to be respectful. These are people that you care about and love. Don't just drop people out of, like, out of down the hat. Like you don't do that. And so, you love people to the extent that you feel comfortable. That's all it is. It doesn't mean to be mean. It's your comfortability at the end of the day. Okay? That's all that's important. And again, that's how you protect your peace. That is how you make sure that you are giving enough of yourself that you feel fulfilled. And that's exactly it. So it's the fulfilled. So you should always remain, filled up, but then you feel full, got your fuzzies for what you're pouring out. So that's why I love the word fulfilled or fulfillment, because it's just that. It's making sure that what it is that you're doing is not undoing the work that you have done, for your betterment. But for your betterment, then it includes you doing unto others, doing for others. But you have to find that balance. And it's only practicing the things that we talk about here that helps you to find that balance. I know that I try to stay away from certain, like, takeaways for you all to say, like, oh, find the balance or do better. No, I don't want to just put a play in ministry, right? But when I say find the balance, I mean that'll come from the work that I'm suggesting, for us all to do. So like I said, I'm going to take heed to what, I've been told to do, because it's necessary. In order to get my glow back. I want that back. And so when we talk about people in your circle that do, right for you, that are listening for things. When I was speaking to her, and she suggested, like, even if you have to take a break from the show, I said, well, it's therapeutic for me. And she was like, guess what? That was the only explanation or justification you had to tell me. So that's fine. You do that. You do that show. You keep doing that, because that was it. She was like, you couldn't have told me anything else about it, because I would have, pushed and suggested more of you kind of taking a break from it. And so you want to only surround yourself with people that are listening for, like how I am to other people, right? I'm listening for what you're doing for yourself, because I'm learning that balance of not jumping out, right? Usually I was that person, you come to me, it's a problem. It's a problem. Let me strap my boots up. Come on, what's going on, right? Just whatever that meant. That meant we need to, I don't know, you need police involved, you need the court system, we need to be ratchet. What you need, right? But I had to stop doing that, because even if it's, jumping, to talk to somebody for somebody or something, if they're not doing the work for themselves. So you want to only surround yourself with people, like I said, like me, that I'm listening for what it is that you are thinking about doing or you plan to do, is that it is best for you. It is what, works to your fulfillment, your betterment. It's important that you have those people in your life, but you can't evaluate the people in your life before you evaluate yourself. And where's that coming from, y'all? What do I love to say? Self-reflection. Self-reflection. Self-reflection, but self-reflection is not just, I'm giving you another way to self-reflect, to build on that. It is not just, and I'm not to say just, but it's not just, sitting crisscross applesauce and meditating and chanting. That's beautiful. You have to do work. Faith without work is dead. So you can have faith and trust and believe, like, if I meditate, I'm gonna be better. Okay. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. This queen is a information platform of power. Thank you so much, James. Thank you. I received that. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you for that comment. I was told I better not cry. Caught me, okay, because it was coming. Got my thug back. All right. Appreciate it. See, you need people in your life that can get you together. My producer is definitely one of those people, especially during the show, to get me together. Okay. I'm so laughing on the inside because that was perfect timing. Child, I got a little glossy. Y'all probably caught it. Okay, all right, I'm back thug now. Woo. All right. So, but thank you for that comment, James. I really, really do appreciate that. And I absolutely receive that, and I give that back to you. I do. And just before we get out of here, my final notes that I did have is that once you get a grip of what we were talking about, as far as like not identifying or no longer identifying yourself with the title that God has rescued you from, that once you get a grip of that, it'll help you then to figure out what you aspire to be, right? You're figuring out what you appear to be. So that's the part of, your personal resume, and how all of that lines up, right? And aligns. And when I said earlier, talking about like people gossiping, right? And saying like, oh, they're carriers of people and they care for people, but they're gossiping. And I said, get your mouth off of people. Guess what? Get your mouth off of your old self as well. That's a person. Separate that. Separate yourself from that. That's the only way other people will. That's the only way people will be able to be like, Lebanon? Oh, okay then. Now don't look like the same, beside people being like, oh, Vanilla, you know how she get. What? Look at her. She about to, No, I have separated myself from that. That is equal. It equates to me of when, especially when I was, not even once I had her, when I was pregnant with my daughter, and just certain things, people just got to say stuff, y'all. I love them. I love us. I love us for real. I mean it. Shout out to Monique. But we just people in general, but definitely us. We feel like we got to say something. So, people walk around, oh, she going to be such and such. She going to be a this, or she be that. And easily, nicely, respectfully, I don't receive that. I don't receive that. No, I don't receive that. I still to this day, child, she going to be something because I don't receive that. I don't. So about yourself, stop only protecting your children. Stop only protecting your parents. For people like us that have had issues with, our families and parents and this and that, and friends and, co-worker, I don't know, whomever in life you've ever had issues with, exes or current, spouses or companions, hell, a dog, anybody you've had an issue with, stop only protecting them, please. I'm saying it out loud for me. Protect yourself, baby. Protect yourself. Okay? Protect yourself by taking your mouth off of your old self. Stop speaking to your old self. You can break up with old you. I'm giving you that permission. Who am I? I don't know. Somebody that's just trying to figure it out just like you, baby. So we're in this thing together. Okay? I'm not somebody that's far removed from it. Like, how when we were in like high school or something, we'd have assemblies and CEOs of, companies would come back, and even if they graduate from there or not, they were speaking, that's fine. But I've always been a person that like, no, get somebody that just graduated in college and they trying to figure things out. Get somebody to help me. Like I need to connect with a nigga. Like I need to know, right? And I'm that person right here with you. I am in the gym shooting with you. You hear me? I'm getting my jump shot back now. Don't get me started. I'm getting back home. It's cold when it get warm now. Don't leave me alone. But it's important. Please break up with your old self. Matter of fact, I know I gave another tip of the week. That should be tip of the week. Break up with your old self. Okay? You're doing the work. Okay? You're drafting out your personal resume. You're drafting out the things that about yourself personally, about yourself that you believe who you are, then it's, what it is that you believe that others will see you as. And then you're considering who it is that, deserves these great things about you. And mind you, this means to be truthful. So if there are some not so great things on that list, you need to map those out as well. Go back through them, highlight, annotate, like, color them up. And I don't know what more there is to say about that, right? Break up with your old self. You have to identify those things that you no longer identify with. Indicate the things that you no longer identify with. I do not want to hear any more in 2021 and going forward, because remember, this is a year of forward motion. I don't want to hear, I don't know what to do. I'd rather hear, I need to figure out what to do about this. My child does this, and I need to figure out how to handle this better. Not, I don't know what to do with him. I don't know what, no. That's speaking death over yourself in the situation. It doesn't seem that way because, just like when we think about sin, we say, oh, there's a little sin, had a little sex, smoked a little weed, did a little something, procrastinated a little bit, right? Just some thing, I guess a murderer will be, I just killed a little person, just one person. It wasn't a lot of people. Like I ain't a serial killer. I'm just a murderer. Like no, sin is sin. Okay, fornicators, murderers, it's all of us. Even those of us procrastinating, not necessarily a sin, but at least to it. You know what I mean? Of us just not fulfilling our purpose. So different levels, same sin. And so it's speaking death over ourselves. The same way we see that. You choose not to do it anymore. Speak only positivity from now on. You tell yourself what it is that you need to figure out, that you will do, that you will try. Start writing things down. Like I told y'all, make those voice memos in your phones. Jot things down. Get the post-it notes. I'm a post-it note queen, Jesus. I'm doing good during this pandemic and not living in post-it notes in here, okay? Change it. Okay? Now hear me? Break up with your old self. Stop speaking to them. Stop speaking to her. Stop speaking to him. Leave them alone. That'll help you leave the people in your life alone that you need to. You got it? All right. I'll let you go for now. I love you. I mean that. I love your new self, who you are becoming. Until next week, be the mix that you are. Peace.